Here, the 5 agreements you need to execute in your setup if you want to raise money from investors. The first is a co-founders agreements, which means between the founders what is going to be their respective capital contribution, what are their roles, responsibilities, as well as deliverables in the business. In addition, in case there is a dispute between both of them, who will have the final deciding vote related to what kind of function in the business. Also, a reverse vesting schedule, which basically means that if one founder decides to leave the company, how much of his shares will mandatory be transferred to other founder so that this guy doesn't leave with control in the business. The next is a shareholders agreement in case you raised money from family member. You need to ensure that this agreement is exceeded and you end up giving them share certificates, which are actually physical documents. The third is the employment agreement. Now, it can also be called an employment letter, and if you call it a letter, a lot of companies may not be really required to pay stamp duty on it. However, if you call it agreement, you will have to execute it on a stamp paper. The fourth is entering into a vendor contract with your top 10 vendors. Do it because they will mandatory check it during due diligence and elongate the process of money hitting your bank. And finally, there is a privacy policy on your website, which means how will you be using customer data?